His actions speak louder than words. A man who truly loves you doesn't just say it. He shows it in his consistency, effort, and the way he prioritizes you in his life. He protects and provides. Love isn't just about emotions, it's about responsibility. A man who loves you ensures your well-being, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. He respects and honors you. True love comes with respect. If he honors your boundaries, values your opinions, and treats you with dignity, that's a sign of deep love. He is patient and forgiving. Love requires patience. A man who absolutely loves you will not be quick to anger, but will extend grace and understanding, just as Christ does for us. He supports your growth in God. A man who truly loves you will encourage your faith, lead with integrity, and push you to walk closer with God rather than away from Him. His love is selfless, not self-seeking. Love isn't about control or possession. It's about sacrificing. A man who truly loves you will put your needs before his own, just as Christ demonstrated sacrificial love. When a man truly loves you, his actions will always reveal the depth of his feelings. Love is not just a matter of words. It is expressed through consistency, effort, and the way he prioritizes you in his life. A man who absolutely loves you does not leave you guessing about his feelings. He does not make you question where you stand with him. His love is evident in the way he moves, the way he shows up, and the way he treats you when no one else is watching. A man's love is seen in the small, everyday things he does. He listens when you speak, not just waiting for his turn to talk, but genuinely engaging in what matters to you. He remembers the details that most people overlook. He pays attention to what makes you happy, what stresses you out, and what brings you peace. He does not just say, "I love you," and leave it at that. His actions reflect those words because love is not a momentary feeling. It is a series of choices made daily. When a man absolutely loves you, he prioritizes your well-being. He does not treat you as an afterthought or an option. He does not put you on hold while he pursues other interests, only to pick you back up when it is convenient for him. Instead, he makes time for you, no matter how busy he is. He ensures that you feel valued and secure in the relationship. Love is intentional, and a man who loves you will be deliberate in how he nurtures the relationship. He will not play games with your emotions or make you feel like you have to chase after him. His love will be steady, unwavering, and consistent. There will be moments in life when challenges arise, and this is where true love is tested. A man who absolutely loves you does not disappear when things get difficult. He does not walk away at the first sign of inconvenience. He does not run when things get complicated. Instead, he stays, he listens, and he works through problems with you. Love is about commitment, and a man who truly loves you will not only be there during the easy times, but also through the storms. His love will not be conditional on whether everything is perfect. Rather, he will stand by your side even when life gets messy. A man's love is also shown through the sacrifices he is willing to make. A man who absolutely loves you will put your needs before his own. He will consider how his decisions affect you, not just how they benefit him. Love is not selfish, it is selfless. It does not seek its own way, but considers the well-being of the other person. If a man truly loves you, he will show it in how he compromises, how he adjusts, and how he makes space for you in his life. He will not expect you to carry the weight of the relationship alone. He will actively invest in making it stronger. Consistency is one of the strongest signs of true love. A man who absolutely loves you does not change based on his mood, circumstances, or convenience. His love is steady, not something that comes and goes based on what he wants in the moment. If he says he loves you, his actions will match those words every single day. He will not make promises he has no intention of keeping. He will not make commitments lightly. Instead, he will follow through on what he says because his love is real. A man who loves you will also show his care by being protective of you, not in a controlling way, but in a way that ensures you feel safe, respected, and cherished. He will not allow you to be in situations where you are harmed emotionally or physically. He will take responsibility for making sure you feel secure in the relationship. His love will be reflected in how he defends you, supports you, and stands up for you when needed. At the heart of it all, a man's love is proven through the consistency of his actions, the depth of his commitment, and the way he prioritizes you without hesitation. If his love is real, you will never have to second-guess it. When a man absolutely loves you, he naturally takes on the role of a protector and provider. This is not just about financial provision or physical protection, but about the way he ensures your overall well-being, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Love is not passive, it is active. And a man who loves you will show it through his sense of responsibility. He will not just claim to care about you, he will demonstrate it in the way he safeguards your heart, your peace, and your future together. A man who loves you will always be mindful of your security. He will want to know that you are safe, that you are in good hands, and that you do not have to worry about navigating life's challenges alone. This kind of protection does not mean controlling you or making decisions for you, but rather ensuring that you never feel abandoned, unsafe, or unsupported. His love will be evident in how he reassures you, how he stands by you when you are vulnerable, and how he creates a space where you can truly be yourself without fear of judgment or harm. This protection extends beyond the physical. Yes, he will make sure you are safe in a literal sense, ensuring you get home safely, making sure you are not in dangerous situations, and being ready to step in if you ever need him. But even deeper than that, he will protect your heart. He will not play with your emotions, manipulate your feelings, or put you in situations where you feel insecure. Instead, he will guard your heart by being honest, by being consistent, and by showing up when he says he will. He will be mindful of how his words and actions affect you because he understands that love is not just about how he feels, it is about how he makes you feel too. Provision is another way that a man shows his love. Provision is not just about money, it is about effort, sacrifice, and commitment. A man who truly loves you will want to make sure you are taken care of in every way. He will be intentional about making your life easier, not harder. He will not expect you to carry all the burdens of life on your own while he watches from a distance. Instead, he will step in and do what needs to be done to ensure that you feel supported and valued. This provision is also emotional. A man who loves you will be there when you need to talk, when you need reassurance, when you need comfort. He will provide stability, making sure that you do not have to guess where you stand with him. He will not be hot and cold, present one day and distant the next. Instead, he will provide a foundation that allows you to feel secure in the relationship. He will be your peace, not your source of confusion. Spiritually, a man who loves you will lead in a way that strengthens your faith. He will not pull you away from God, but will push you closer. He will encourage you to grow in your relationship with Christ because he understands that true love is rooted in God's love. He will pray with you, pray for you, and seek wisdom on how to love you in a way that aligns with God's will. His leadership will not be about control, but about guidance, helping you navigate life's challenges with faith and trust in God. Sacrifice is a natural part of protection and provision. A man who truly loves you will not always choose what is convenient for himself. He will make sacrifices to ensure your happiness, your growth, and your well-being. He will not put his comfort above your needs. Instead, he will willingly give of himself to see you thrive. He will think about the long term, not just temporary pleasures or easy solutions. He will build with you, plan with you, and make decisions with you in mind because his love is not just about the present, it is about the future he sees with you. When a man loves you, he carries the weight of responsibility with pride, not resentment. He does not see taking care of you as a burden, but as a privilege. He does not view love as something that only benefits him, but as something that calls him to be better, to do better, and to give his best. His love will be evident in the way he protects you, in the way he provides for you, and in the way he makes sure that you never have to wonder if you are loved. When a man absolutely loves you, he will respect and honor you in a way that makes you feel valued, cherished, and secure. Love without respect is incomplete because true love sees a person's worth and treats them accordingly. A man who truly loves you does not just admire you from a distance or desire you for what you can offer him. He honors who you are as a person. He sees your heart, your mind, and your soul, and he treats you with the dignity you deserve. Respect in love is shown through how he listens to you. When you speak, he does not dismiss your thoughts or brush off your concern. He values your opinions and considers your perspective, even when he does not fully agree. He does not interrupt you or make you feel like your words do not matter. Instead, he engages in meaningful conversations with you, asking questions, remembering details, and making an effort to understand your emotions. When a man loves you, he does not just hear you, he listens, because what is important to you becomes important to him. A man who honors you will also respect your boundaries. He will never pressure you to do things that go against your values, your beliefs, or your comfort level. He understands that love is not about control, but about trust. He will not manipulate you, guilt-trip you, or try to push you into situations that make you uneasy. Instead, he will make you feel safe, knowing that your boundaries are not obstacles to him, but markers of who you are. He does not just tolerate them, he respects them because he respects you. Respect is also seen in how he speaks to you and about you. A man who loves you does not degrade you with his words. He does not use insults, sarcasm, or belittling comments to assert his authority. He does not embarrass you in front of others or use harsh words in private. Instead, he speaks to you with kindness even in disagreements. He does not allow frustration or anger to turn into disrespect. Even when he is upset, he does not lash out or say things that leave emotional scars. He knows that words carry weight, and he chooses to use his words to uplift, not to tear down. How he speaks about you when you are not around also reveals his respect. A man who truly loves you will never speak negatively about you to his friends, his family, or anyone else. He will not complain about you behind your back or make jokes at your expense. Instead, he will defend you, protect your name, and speak of you with pride. He will correct others if they disrespect you and will not entertain gossip or negativity about you. His respect for you is not just something he shows when you are watching. It is a principle he carries in all situations. Respect is also demonstrated in his action. A man who loves you will keep his promises. He will not say things just to please you in the moment and then forget them later. If he tells you he will do something, he follows through. He does not make commitments lightly, and when he gives his word, he honors it. A man who respects you values your trust and does not take it for granted. He understands that broken trust is difficult to repair, so he is intentional about being reliable, consistent, and faithful in his act. A man who truly honors you also values your growth. He does not try to hold you back, discourage you, or make you feel small. He does not see your success as a threat to his own. Instead, he encourages you to reach for your dreams, supports your ambitions, and celebrates your victories. He does not compete with you. He lifts you up. His love does not come with conditions that force you to shrink yourself to make him feel bigger. Instead, he pushes you toward your purpose and reminds you of your worth. Honor in love also means treating you with the same level of care and dignity in private as he does in public. He does not put on a show for others while treating you poorly behind closed doors. His love is genuine and it is consistent. He does not act differently depending on who is watching. The way he treats you when no one else is around is a reflection of his true character. If he honors you, he will not use privacy as an excuse to be careless, rude, or dismissive. Instead, he will show you love in the little things, through small gestures, acts of kindness, and daily reminders that you matter. A man's love is measured not just by his feelings, but by his actions. If he truly loves you, he will make it clear in how he respects your mind, your emotions, your body, and your spirit. You will never have to beg for his respect because it will come naturally from a place of deep love and appreciation. When a man absolutely loves you, his patience and forgiveness will be among the strongest indicators of his devotion. Love is not just about grand gestures or passionate moments. It is tested in the quiet, difficult times when understanding and grace are required. A man who truly loves you does not rush to anger, does not keep a record of your mistakes, and does not hold grudges. Instead, he approaches the relationship with a heart that seeks peace, resolution, and growth. His love is not based on perfection, but on commitment, knowing that real love requires endurance and mercy. Patience in love is revealed in how he handles challenges. Life is not always easy, and relationships are not free from difficulties. A man who loves you will not walk away at the first sign of trouble. He will not lose his temper over small inconveniences or act impulsively when emotions are high. He will not treat disagreements as battles to be won, but as opportunities to grow together. Even when things do not go his way, he remains calm, knowing that love is bigger than one bad day or one misunderstanding. He does not see your flaws as deal breakers, but as parts of you that deserve compassion. This patience extends into how he reacts to your emotions. When you are struggling, he does not dismiss your feelings or tell you to just get over it. He does not get frustrated when you need time to process things or when you express yourself in ways he may not fully understand. Instead, he listens. He gives you space to be human, to have moments of frustration, sadness, or confusion without making you feel like you are a burden. He does not demand that you always be strong. Rather, he is patient with your growth, with your healing, and with the different seasons of your life. Forgiveness in love is just as important. A man who truly loves you does not hold past mistakes over your head. He does not use your past against you, bringing up old arguments just to gain the upper hand. He does not remind you of every time you were wrong as a way to make himself feel superior. Instead, he chooses to let go. He understands that love is not about keeping score, but about building something stronger through understanding and grace. His forgiveness does not mean he ignores issues or allows unhealthy patterns, but it means that he does not allow resentment to take root in his heart. When there is a disagreement, he seeks resolution rather than revenge. He does not seek to hurt you just because he feels hurt. Instead, he approaches conflict with the goal of restoring peace, not proving a point. He understands that love is about choosing each other, even when it is hard, even when it is uncomfortable, even when pride tells him to walk away. This patience and forgiveness are rooted in his love for God. A man who truly loves you understands that the way he treats you should reflect the love and mercy that God has shown him. He does not demand perfection from you because he knows he is not perfect himself. He is willing to extend grace because he has received grace. His love is not based on his own strength, but on the understanding that love is a reflection of God's patience and forgiveness toward us. When he loves you, he does not throw away the relationship over minor conflicts or temporary frustrations. He does not treat love as something disposable. He values what you have together and is willing to put in the effort to maintain and strengthen it. His love does not fade when things are not easy, and it does not disappear when mistakes happen. He chooses to stay, to work through difficulties, and to love you not just in the good times, but in the hard times as well. When a man absolutely loves you, he will support your growth in God because he understands that love is not just about emotional connection or physical attraction. It is about spiritual alignment. A man who truly loves you will not lead you away from your faith, but will encourage you to walk even closer with God. He will see your relationship with God as a priority, not a threat, because he knows that a love built on a strong spiritual foundation will endure through any storm. He does not just want to be a part of your life. He wants to be a part of your spiritual journey, walking beside you as you both grow in faith. A man who supports your growth in God will be intentional about his own faith. He will not just tell you to seek God while he remains distant from it. He will lead by example, not just in words, but in action. His commitment to prayer, his hunger for wisdom, and his desire to grow spiritually will be evident. He will not be ashamed to talk about his faith, and he will not see church, prayer, or devotion as something separate from your relationship. Instead, he will see them as essential parts of it. He will pray with you, not just for you. He will study God's Word, not just quote Scripture when it is convenient. His faith will not be something he turns to only in hard times, but a way of life that influences every decision he makes. A man who truly loves you will encourage a personal relationship with God. He will not be jealous of the time you spend in prayer or in seeking God's presence. He will not make you feel guilty for prioritizing your faith. Instead, he will celebrate it. He will remind you to seek God's guidance in all things. He will ask about your spiritual walk, not to judge or control, but to support and uplift. He will encourage you to trust in God above all else, even above him. He understands that a love centered on God is not a competition, but a partnership where both of you are striving toward the same goal, living a life that honors him. A man who supports your growth in God will challenge you in a way that makes you stronger. He will not enable complacency, but will push you to become the woman God has called you to be. He will hold you accountable, not with judgment, but with love. He will not encourage behaviors or decisions that compromise your faith. Instead, he will remind you of your values and your purpose. He will correct you gently when needed, not to belittle you, but to help you stay aligned with God's plan. He will also be humble enough to accept correction himself, knowing that growth is a two-way process. His love will be evident in how he prioritizes God in your relationship. He will not just plan dates and vacations, but will also make time for spiritual connection. He will want to attend church with you, not just because it looks good, but because he understands the importance of growing in faith together. He will be mindful of how you pray together, how you serve together, and how you encourage each other to live out God's word in everyday life. He will not see your relationship as just a worldly partnership, but as a covenant that reflects God's love. A man who truly loves you will protect your purity and honor your commitment to God's standards. He will not pressure you into compromising situations. He will not test your boundaries or push you to go against your convictions. Instead, he will respect your desire to live in a way that pleases God. He will value your spiritual well-being above temporary pleasure. His love will not be self-seeking. It will be rooted in honoring God in every aspect of your relationship. His love will be patient, understanding that growth in faith is a lifelong journey. He will not expect perfection from you, just as he does not expect it from himself, but he will be committed to growing together, to learning from mistakes, and to continually seeking God's wisdom. He will celebrate your progress, encourage you when you struggle, and remind you that God's grace is always sufficient. He will not just be your partner in life. He will be your partner in faith, walking alongside you as you both pursue a deeper relationship with God. When a man absolutely loves you, he will make sacrifices for your happiness and well-being, because real love is not about convenience. It is about commitment. A man who truly loves you does not put his own needs and desires above everything else. Instead, he is willing to give of himself, his time, his energy, his comfort, to ensure that you are cared for. Love without sacrifice is selfish, but a man who genuinely loves you understands that true love requires effort, compromise, and sometimes putting aside his own preferences for the sake of the relationship. His sacrifices are not forced, nor do they come with resentment. They are an extension of his love, freely given, because he values your joy and peace as much as his own. A man's willingness to sacrifice is seen in how he prioritizes you. He does not treat you as an afterthought or something to fit into his schedule when it is convenient. Instead, he makes time for you, even when it is not easy. He will rearrange plans, adjust his schedule, and make sure that you feel like you matter. He does not just tell you that you are important to him. He shows it through his actions. He does not keep you waiting, wondering where you stand, because he actively chooses you every single day. Sacrifice is also reflected in the small, everyday moments. It is in the way he listens, even when he is tired, in the way he does things for you without expecting anything in return, in the way he considers your feelings before making decisions. He does not always choose what is easiest or most beneficial for himself, but what is best for both of you. He understands that love is not just about grand gestures, but about the daily choices to be present, to be patient, to be selfless. A man who truly loves you will put effort into understanding you. He will take the time to learn what makes you happy, what worries you, what excites you. He will not dismiss your emotions as unimportant or tell you that you are overreacting. Instead, he will listen with empathy, making adjustments where necessary to strengthen the relationship. He will not expect you to always cater to him while he remains unchanged. Instead, he will meet you halfway, working on himself, growing and improving, because he knows that love is a partnership, not a one-sided arrangement. His sacrifices are also seen in his willingness to protect your heart. He will be careful with his words and actions, making sure that he does not intentionally hurt you. He will choose honesty over deceit, faithfulness over convenience. He will not entertain behaviors that could damage your trust, because he understands that love is built on security. He will walk away from situations that could compromise your relationship, even if they seem harmless to others, because your peace of mind matters to him. A man's love is also demonstrated in how he supports your dreams and aspirations. He does not view your success as a threat, nor does he try to limit you to fit his own expectations. Instead, he makes sacrifices to uplift you, to encourage you, to push you toward your potential. He celebrates your achievements as if they were his own, and does not try to compete with you or diminish your progress. He is willing to make adjustments, sometimes even putting aside his own preferences, so that you can grow, because your happiness is a priority to him. A man who loves you will also sacrifice his pride. He will be willing to apologize when he is wrong, even if it is uncomfortable. He will not let his ego stand in the way of making things right. He will not treat you as an opponent to be defeated in arguments, but as a partner to be understood. He will work through conflicts with maturity, not with arrogance or stubbornness, because he values peace over being right. His love is ultimately a reflection of God's love, a love that is selfless, patient, and enduring. He does not see sacrifice as something negative, but as a privilege, because to love you means to care for you in a way that mirrors the way Christ loves the church. He gives not because he has to, but because he wants to, because love is not about taking, it is about giving. Love is not just a feeling, it is a series of choices, actions, and commitments that reflect a man's true intention. When a man absolutely loves you, he will show it through his unwavering dedication, his respect, his patience, and his willingness to sacrifice for your well-being. He will honor you, support your growth in faith, and cherish you in ways that go beyond mere words. His love will be evident not only in the good times, but in how he stands by you through challenges, how he protects your heart, and how he continuously chooses you every single day. True love mirrors the love God has for us, selfless, patient, forgiving, and enduring. A man who loves you will not lead you away from your faith, but will walk alongside you, encouraging you, strengthening you, and uplifting you as you both strive toward God's purpose. He will not seek only what benefits him, but will look at the relationship as a partnership built on trust, commitment, and spiritual growth. His love will not be conditional, fading when circumstances change, but will remain steady through every season of life. May you always recognize the love that is genuine and refuse to settle for anything less than the love God intends for you. May you be blessed with wisdom to see the difference between empty words and true devotion, between fleeting affection and a love that stands the test of time. You are worthy of a love that is patient, kind, respectful, and God-centered. Never forget that. Good luck on your journey, and may God guide you toward the love that is meant for you. Thank you for listening, and may you always be surrounded by the grace and love of God.